Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horses.
Shake shoe bob shooby doo doo booby doo dow.
And the shot rang out, bang!
Hot dog!
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Howdy folks, and welcome to Horses Sing None of It here today. My name is Ralph Litwin, and our guest today on Horses Sing None of It is none other than Rick Ilowite.
Hi Ralph, how are you?
How you doing, Rick?
I'm fine.
Welcome to the show.
Why, thank you. It's nice that we didn't know they were starting the show. We were just sitting here playing and having a grand old time.
Well, now
and
we're on.
Suddenly we noticed the tape was rolling.
We're on the air.
Hey.
So we plan to start out this show with an original of mine that I wrote, as far as I can guess, in 1976.
An original that you wrote. Yeah. What a concept.
I wrote the words down anyway. And it's about a girlfriend I had out in New Mexico. Her name is Little Bird. Woke up this morning with a fuzz around my head. The fuzz so bad didn't want to get out of bed. Well, woke up this morning with a fuzz all around my head. I'd seen my gal in 3 months. I was feeling bad. I got a woman down in New Mexico. When things are fast, she knows how to make them slow. Well, I got a woman way down in New Mexico. When things are too fast, she knows how to make them slow. Play it, Rick. My little birdie is so mellow and fine. My little birdie always treat me kind. Well, my little birdie is so mellow and fine. That's why little girl is always resting on my mind. Long distance operator, give me Santa Fe. Gotta talk to baby, don't care what I have to pay. Well, on second thought, please don't connect that line. Cause if I talk to my baby, I believe I may lose my mind.
Yow.
Yowzer, on the Maybell resonator guitar.
Yeah, these resonator guitars are things that I love and have not yet availed myself of, though. Did some recording a couple months back and played one of the tunes on a Reuters resophonic guitar made completely out of koa wood, like this weird Hawaiian wood.
Reuters, like the news service?
Exactly. Exactly. It automatically transmits into the whole global information network, the internet and stuff. No, it's some other Reuters I trust.
So that would be during the recording of your new and upcoming album?
What a segue. Yes, it's the recording of my new and upcoming album.
Does it have a title?
Yes, it does. It's called This Way, That Way. This is actually an album that's been just weird, completely weird in the fact that it's been done in spurts over a long period of time. The total amount of work that's gone into the album is probably on the order of about 3 weeks, but it's been done. We really started working on it last March. And the logistics of just getting all the people involved into the right place at the right time were problematic. And the first thing we did, this is, I'm appearing here today solo, but my bass player, Keith Thompson, who is now my partner, and we're like an official duo at this point, we started having a brainstorm about this really last winter and started making plans. We recorded a pre-production demo of the record in the spring. Then in the summer we went out to Ohio where we did the actual for-real recording, and didn't get around.
With an all-star cast.
With an all-star cast. I was very fortunate to have some good friends of mine involved. Again, going back to last winter when we were first talking about this, making plans, thinking about what tunes we want on it, and I was describing this to Jorma Kakounen, who people may know from Hot Tuna and the Jefferson Airplane. We were opening for Jorma at the Lone Star in New York City, and I was telling him about the project, and he said that he would be deeply insulted if we didn't let him produce it. So
An
Keith
offer
and I,
you couldn't afford to refuse.
yeah, we really had to think about that for a real long time. So we did a pre-production demo. We actually went to Jorma's farm in Ohio and recorded the whole thing, and it was just great. It was an idyllic 2 weeks. Jorma played on a couple of the tunes with us, and when he wasn't playing on the record, he was a master of the tape deck controls. And but then we didn't get around to mixing it until just about a month and a half ago, because the fellow we wanted to mix it lives in Los Angeles, and we had to find a time when all 4 of us or all 5 of us were going to be in Los Angeles at the same time, and that didn't happen till October. So now it's all mixed, and now we're in the process of having it all done and kind of shopping it around to record labels, and hopefully by the time this show airs, it'll actually be out in the real world, where people can actually go out and buy it, which they can't do right yet at this moment.
But if they want to,
If they want to,
they can.
Well, one thing they can do is just come to any of our shows. We'll be selling it at our gigs, so we will have it in hand. You can find out about our shows by looking in the Traditional Music Line or the Folk Project newsletter, things like that. And then if you come to one of my shows, you can always get on my own mailing list and find out about stuff that way.
We'll have to pitch the Traditional Music Line name and number sometime when we actually have it here.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. But those of you, I'm assuming a lot of the people watching this show are watching it because they know something about what the folk music scene in New Jersey.
Could be.
And if they do, then they know how to find out where stuff is happening. But depending on the kind of record deal we get, it may actually be in the stores. You may actually be able to go to your local Tower Records or Sam Goody or somebody and actually pick it up. So that would be great if that works out. We actually did get a couple of little spurts of interest from, what they call major label interest. There's a smattering of that right now, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch.
Or spook the deal.
Or spook the deal.
But
exactly.
do you have something from the album project?
Oh yeah, we have all kinds of things from the
us?
album we can play for you. I'll tell you what, why don't I start off with...
So he's going to retune his guitar.
Yeah, well, this is should have thought to be retuning as we're talking. That would make a lot of sense. Too much sense, probably. Unfortunately, it's not a major retune job. This is this is really the first tune that I thought of putting on the record. Over the last couple of years, we had made a tape a few years ago. We'd come up with a bunch of new songs since the tape. That every time we hit on one that we really liked, I was sort of putting it in my mental filing cabinet of what is a possibility for the record. So this is really the first candidate. One of those old ballads that's probably based on a true story. This one is reputed to be about a murder that took place in Atlanta around the turn of the century, sort of in the theme of the classic, one of the really most enduring themes in all of folk music has been the abuse and maltreatment of women, and so many songs have been written about it. This is just another one of those. But and it's a shame that songs like these are true stories, but so be it. This is the Ballad of Tony and Andelia. First time he shot her, she laid her head and died. Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone. Send for the doctor came too late. Send for the preacher to lay out Delia's straight. Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone. Rubber-tired buggy, rubber-tired hack, taking Delia to the graveyard. She ain't never coming back. Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone. Delia, oh Delia, say where you been so long. Everybody's talking about Delia dead and gone. Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone, Delia's gone, one more round. Delia's gone.
Yeah,
Ballad of Tony and Andelia.
pretty and sad.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people do versions of it. I kind of came up with that version. Sort of, I was actually trying to work out somebody else's version, and made a bunch of mistakes, and
That's
ended up with
the
that
creative
one.
process.
That's the folk process, exactly.
That's the way I approach learning other people's material too.
Exactly. I think a lot of technique happens because you can't grasp other technique, and you just have to figure out other ways of doing things.
Yeah, man.
One rule of thumb I've actually, to working out fingerstyle stuff, especially some of the complicated stuff like Blake, is that if I'm having trouble getting it, I'm probably just doing it wrong. You know, there's got to be, you listen to the records and you think, well, he probably fingered it this way, and you make guesses. And if it's too hard, it's probably just wrong. There's probably an easier way to do it. And every once in a while, you just stumble on something like that.
Well, you mentioned the master's name, so.
Oh, we're going to do Blake. Let's do
Wanna
Blake.
do something? Blind Blake, that is.
Okay, we'll tell you what. Okay, this is something else from the record. We'll take a. We'll take the leap of faith here, in true Indiana Jones fashion, and there's a Blind Blake rag, which is called Blind Arthur's Breakdown, which is a bunch of the rags I first worked out, like Joplin things. You know, actually having in a previous life incarnation been a real music student and actually went to college and took music courses and stuff. Things like Joplin rags, you know, when you actually like sit down and look at them as composed pieces, they're extremely well composed. They're, you know, the schooled musician, you know, scholarly stuff. They have a formal structure and they conform to their structure, and obviously composed by somebody who actually knew music theory and knew what was going on. And then at the completely opposite extreme, you have a Blake rag, which is like a bunch of turnarounds, basically. It just seems like it was made up on the spur of the moment when he sat down to record it. Is the way it comes across to me when I listen to it. And since it doesn't have any structure, it was hard to learn because it was just nothing repeats. Oh no, I dropped my lavalier. This is we knew this was going to be a problem. So this is that. It's called Blind Arthur's Breakdown.
I wonder if the sound man is picking you up now since you're. Hi, everybody! This is.
Okay.
This is the thing we go through on public access television.
Yes. Well, we thought we might be pulling it off once or twice before the show was over. So here is Blind Arthur's Breakdown, and Find Arthur's Breakdown. What a monster.
I can see how that would be quite difficult to remember in order.
So we actually got it in like 2 takes. It was just like the first take we got that I actually like remembered the thing all the way through was definitely it. So there's a.
I just noticed the clock, and time is starting to run down. It has
really?
just flown by here.
Yeah.
So we have time for maybe one short number or some conversation and a regular number.
Okay. Well, let's do as much music as we can. That doesn't make any sense. We have time for a short number or conversation and a long number.
A short number and a long number, or some conversation and a long number.
Okay.
Now we've had the conversation, so it's
So it's just a regular number. Okay, tell you what, grab your harmonica, let's do this tune in E. I want to at least get one of the originals.
yeah.
Something I don't have to retune for. Excuse me, I've got a smidgen of a cold here, and I don't want to dribble all over statewide TV.
So it's amazing. We should say goodbye to the folks because possibly during this tune, if it's a long tune, they'll start running the credits and we'll be saying goodbye.
Okay, well let's just get straight into it then. This is one of these tunes that in the tune we came in with talk about letters to old girlfriends. This is a letter to an old girlfriend tune.
All right.
It's maybe not as nice a letter as yours.
So our guest today has been Rick Ilowite. My name is Ralph Livin, and we thank you all for tuning in to Horses Sing None of It. And look for Rick's album, the title of which will be
This Way, That Way.
This Way, That Way. And we hope you'll tune in soon. Again.
Someday. Flying like a demon down the interstate. Hungry and tired in your tempting face. Don't stop acting like the rat you are. Scrape you off a semi with a spatula. I'd staple you shut, but it would be a sin, or pickle your potato in a pint of gin. It's amazing what some people will do to win. Got a butterfly on your pelvic bone. Got a real nice house, but there ain't nobody home. If I had $1 bill for every lie you told, I'd buy a one-way ticket made of solid gold. I'd fax you off to Texas and I'd wave so long and notify your relatives that you had gone, but you're not worth the paper that you're printed on. Find me your replacement for the heart you stole. I wouldn't touch your two faces with a 10-foot pole. Your pin-up poster is the latest rage. I use it as a liner for my hamster cage. If opposites attract, then you're the -1. You ain't just a pistol, you're a smoking gun. You need your attitude adjusted by Attila the Hun. Send your explanation to someone who cares. Or file your appeal with the man upstairs. Eradicate my number from your Rolodex. Find another sucker to buy your head. I'd say that I would miss you, but it would be untrue. I'm throwing out my tube of crazy glue, and I pity the next sucker that gets stuck with you. that's it. Are we still here?
We're still here, but we should be fading out.
Here she comes. Here's dessert, ladies. So I said no. Ooh, there's only 3. These look good. Thank you. Oh, you didn't get one. Do you want Now you have one for each of us.
Sharing, it's the icing on the cake. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
This is a molecule of water in the soil. Water and other molecules are absorbed by this tree root. Inside the tree, the water moves up the trunk, through a branch, and into a leaf. Here, in a leaf cell, the tree uses sunlight to transform water into new molecules called oxygen. Trees and other plants release millions of these oxygen molecules into the air every day. It's the very same oxygen that you and I breathe. Say thank you. Protect the forest.